So after one rotation, Oregon State with a 49.450 leads California by .025. Utah went 49.275, so they're back .175. Arizona State technically in 6th right now after one rotation. The score at the bottom, that's UCLA. They posted the top score in the morning, so that's by comparison. Keep an eye on the Bruins, but their best rotations at the back end, beam and floor. Well, moments ago, and we've been talking about her all year long, Jade Carey, we don't always talk about her on the beam, but we will now, because she just posted the best score of the day, 9.95.
Well, I mentioned she has the difficulty, but it's her consistency. She stays so calm under pressure, so to have her in an anchor position when you need her has to feel good for this Oregon State team. Like many of the top elite athletes and Olympians we see moving to college, they have so many tricks they get to choose which one's their best at. For her, triple series here, front aerial, back handspring layup, step out. Moves right into her leap combination, great extension, good form. That was the small bobble we saw, everything else was solid.
So this routine ends up being the 8th time this year she's gone at least 9.9 on the beam.
Nailing that gainer layup full.
And of course, she is the one to beat in the all-around. Undefeated this season, and as you mentioned at the top of the show, Amanda, #1 in the nation.
And she's going to the floor exercise where she's not ranked #1, but boy, you're not going to want to miss it.
She is the Olympic gold medalist, so I think that trumps #1 in collegiate gymnastics. And we talked with her earlier in the season about blending in, as all freshmen want to do when they step on campus, and it's hard to do with the reflection of a gold medal. And she said, you know, we don't talk about it much. They want to know about the experience, but that's not what it's about now. Now it's about team. You know, the Olympics, even though you're representing your country, a lot of it is individual, and certainly she won an individual gold medal on the floor. But now she's a Beaver. She's an Oregon State Beaver. She said she thought about it for 7 years. She always wanted to go there, and she's happy in Corvallis. Oregon State off to the best start so far, 49.450 to lead session #2. To the bars, it's always been a great event for the Red Rocks. They're ranked 6th in the country, and again, 1st in the Pac-12. They've gone at least 49.3 in their last 3, and they will lead off with Amelie Morgan. Now, I mentioned already 7 Olympians in the conference. 4 of those were medalists, not all for the United States. Amelie Morgan, a team bronze for Great Britain. It's the first time they've medaled since the 1920s. So, historic group.
You know, for these Olympic athletes, they came off the Olympics and straight into college gymnastics. It's not an easy transition. Give them a lot of credit. Maintaining their skills while adjusting to being a student athlete. Amelie's been in this leadoff position. Release, move up, full twisting pack salto down, nice control.
Her best this year at California, 9.925. Utah was beaten at Haas Pavilion that day.
Well, this has been a clean routine. Giant full double tuck. If you ask Tom Farden, it's all about the details on this event. Hit the handstands, have the good form, get the amplitude, and then stick the landing. That really set the tone.
And for Tom Farden, the head coach, this was the event, you see him off to the right. This was the event he coached when he first came to Utah. It's still his baby.
Well, that's an important, aggressive way to start this rotation. They need to relax and do what they have done all season long on this event. In fact, their best score was a 49.8 this season on the uneven bars.
To be fair to Farden and the Red Rocks, most of the emphasis this year was on balance beam, and it has been for the last couple of years. Got to be better on balance beam. How good are they? They're first in the country on balance beam. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's coming up. Speaking of the beam, And speaking of a local product, Milan Klasi grew up in Salt Lake City. A lot of people thought she'd end up at the University of Utah. Chose to go to California. She has ties, family ties to both schools. Her granddad got his PhD at Cal, but of course her mom, Alyssa Marlowe, 4-year All-American at the University of Utah in gymnastics, a national champion, 88 Olympian.
Yes, and I say it all the time, that 88 Olympic team were some of my heroes. So I remember watching her on television. And I know she's somewhere here in the stands. She always gets nervous watching.
Don't forget about the dads. Milan's father, Joe, played football at the University of Utah as well. We'll hear the crowd react multiple times tonight. For Utah off camera, we will keep you apprised and we'll get you updated.
Solid kick over front to start her routine. And then setting up for her tumbling elements. Back handspring layout, step out. Hips and shoulders perfectly square.
Her best so far this year on beam is a 9.925, came against Iowa in that last meet, in which they posted the second highest team score in school history.
Beautiful, working right out of the leap pass. Milan, such good artistry she incorporates on beam and floor, her unique element. We'll see that headstand on floor as well. All that's left is the dismount. This crowd is loud. She's got to stay focused, and good for her.
Well, that is great stuff by a veteran. She's a senior. She's been through it before. She was the freshman of the year 3 years ago. She's been a regional vault champion. Natalie Briones now, freshman from Gilbert, Arizona. Oh, check it. They already posted her score. Kayla Bird. Briones got a 9.825.
Beautiful combination work, not just with the front layout to the 1.5 twist, but the immediate straddle jump out, showing control.
It's Kayla's best event, 7 times. She's got 9.8 plus and a 9.875 against Stanford.
Clean routine.
Don't forget that Oregon State was leading after 1 because of that huge beam rotation. So they're protecting a lead, but they're being threatened already. You heard the applause, the roar from the home crowd in Salt Lake City, and here's why. Grace McCallum on the bars. Earlier this year, McCallum had been perfect on bars at UCLA.
Well, she has beautiful lines in her form. It's not just her toe point. She has stunning positions. Another release back up to the high bar with that half turn, keeping those legs glued together, hitting that final handstand. Full twisting double back. Straight up and down. Hey, I've done this before. The crowd went wild. Alex Theodoro from Arizona State just finished her vault, and they're having a strong rotation. The lowest score they've had so far is a 9.75, and the leadoff, everything else has been 9.8 or better. This one, very unique, that twisting vault. Nice control on the landing, and we're just waiting for that score.
And the crowd noise that you heard after McCallum was not only for her routine and the stuck landing, but it was about 45 seconds later when the score came in. Another perfect 10 for Grace McCallum on bars, second time this year. Oregon State working on the floor. Caleb Bird went 9.85. This is Ariana Young. And Young, not a regular in the Oregon State floor lineup.
Opens with a nice double pike.
So now we're seeing, because we used to go one at a time, so now with 4 at a time, these athletes from out of town are having to deal with the Utah crowd, who's almost ignoring them because they're paying attention to the Red Rocks.
Nice job.
To test their mental toughness.
And focus.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, roller goes up the other side of the room, everyone wants to look.
Yeah, for me as an athlete, I always loved the energy and I loved the crowd, but it can be a distraction. You're on the balance beam and the crowd's going wild for somebody else. Got to be able to block it out. Last pass.
Waiting to go next on bars is Miley O'Keefe. We already saw her get a 9.8 involved. That's the event she added tonight so she can go all around. Look at the scores. They're looking to drop a 9.8 right now. Put the 9.9s and the 10. And here's Miley. 9 times this year, she's got 9.875. Double Arabian dismount.
Jim, you're impressing me.
Getting there.
Yeah, she's got an action-packed routine. Again, another beautiful athlete on this event. That's why she's the defending NCAA champion.
She's been perfect on bars this year against Minnesota.
Here it is right here. She does a half turn off the bar, goes into a double front, blind landing, opens up, that's okay.
And without the step.
You gotta be a perfect stick or a step forward. You don't wanna come up short.
And you can hear how hungry the crowd is here. She was flawless, but with a small step on the landing, and they groaned.
But still, I mean, there's really not a lot of deduction throughout that routine. She's got the perfect form and the beautiful lines. And definitely, that's 5 solid, not just solid, great routines on bars for Utah.
Andy Lee scheduled to be next on beam for California. So far, they have pretty good scores. 2 9.85s and a 9.9 by Milan Klaassen. The 9.85s to Sousa and Maddie Williams, and Maya Bordas has already gone. We're waiting for her score. California was second after the first rotation, just .025 back of Oregon State.
Well, and this young lady, Andy Lee, so tough. We were at the Meet UCLA on the floor exercise. She rolled her ankle
Oh my goodness, I can still
in the
see
tumbling
it. Yeah.
pass. She not only finished that routine, but then she went over to the balance beam and not just did a great routine, she got a 9.9 with the bad ankle. It was so impressive. And it looks like Maya had a few bobbles and balance checks, so that'll be the score 9.55 for her that they'll want to drop out.
Which puts more pressure on Andy Lee and Maya Lazan, as if there weren't enough pressure already at the Pac-12 championships.
Nice creative mount. You'll see the beautiful skills throughout this routine.
Andy Lee had at least one win in more than half the meets this year. And this has been a great event for her. 6 times she's gone 9.875.
Solid on her tumbling skills.
And I would imagine as a gymnast, this would be the hardest place to be when the crowd is cheering that loudly for someone else. Yet she stays right in the zone.
She finishes with a combination, gainer tuck full, unique dismount, holding on to that landing. Great routine.
Andy Lee already put up a 9.925 on bars, which at the time was the top score in the meet. That has now been erased by Grace McCallum's 10. A 10 in gymnastics is the equivalent of getting a hole-in-one in golf, and on the next tee looking to your friends and saying, can anyone beat a 1?
Well, we've seen more 10s this year, I think, across the board. So no better place to do it than here at the conference championship.
Lauren Letch is having a great freshman year. No misses so far this year. 20 times she's gone at least 9-8. You know, there's an old saying, coaches in all sports say the best thing about a freshman is they'll be a sophomore next year. But some of these freshmen come in ready to go. Obviously, Jade Carey, the Olympians, those who have achieved on the senior elite level.
I believe Oregon State is the youngest team here in the Pac-12. So while that can be a challenge with so many freshmen, the good news is that as time goes by, those freshmen, gain experience.
And then you get it for 3 more years.
Absolutely.
At 9 freshmen, very good, Amanda, on the Oregon State roster. But they also have 3 seniors and 2 grad students. So it's a teeter-totter. It's balanced at each end.
One of those grad students, I believe, is Caitlin Yanish. She is not in competition because she landed short, but they're expecting her in for regionals and hopefully for NCAAs. So she'll be on the sidelines, and this is an event we've always watched her on, so they've had to replace her.
It's Brian Rochilla, the assistant coach there in the all-black. Making sure that Lauren didn't step out of bounds. Letch already went 9-9 on beam. It's a good rotation for Oregon State. All 3 scores, 9.825 or better so far.
The first 4 routines for the Oregon State lineup on this event, the key has been be solid, be clean, because their anchors, Maddie Dagan and Jade Carey, they want to go big. They don't want any pressure. So far, so good. They put up 4 great routines.
Arizona State is finished on the vault with Alex Theodoro going 9-9 in the anchor spot. Boy, they closed really well. They go 49.250. On the bars, Utah 49.550, and this is the way they closed it out with Crystal Issa in the anchor spot. The score they were looking to drop was a 9-8. Abby Paulson earlier in the rotation, remember, it already had Amelie Morgan 9-9, McCallum with a 10, Sage Thompson had a 9-9, Miley O'Keefe 9.825, and then Crystal Issa.
I mean, so aggressive off the top of the routine. Look at swinging to those handstands quick. Of course, great release move. Nailing the handstand on the shoot over. And then watch the dismount combination. Very difficult. Giant full, stops the momentum, and then has to whip it into the double layout. And we've seen her do that landing over and over, but man, so impressive in that anchor position.
And I would say it's a 9.925, and Utah fans would say it's only a 9.925. Yeah, that looked pretty good. So Bart says, let's rotate. We're ready. Let's move on. Tom, one of the guys that really wanted to go 4 at a time, he thought it would be advantageous for his team. Lauren Letch got a 9.85 on floor for Oregon State, so that would leave us with Maddie Dagan and Jade Carey to finish off the second rotation. California has finished on beam, 49.375 for Cal. Remember, these scores are unofficial until we finish the rotation, and we'll get you updated
Double full. She has great amplitude on both her tumbling and her dance elements.
Maddie, one of those gymnasts who likes to compete against the best against Utah. She went 9-9 on 3 different events, including the floor.
Big smile there as she finishes that final tumbling pass.
Well, she's already posted a 9-9 on beam. Well, anywhere you look in the room now, the level of gymnastics has been kicked up. California's finished with their beam rotation, but moments ago in the anchor spot, Maya Lazan. She had already gone 9.85 on bars and waited to polish off a good rotation for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, there was a little pressure on this routine. Earlier, Maya Mortis just wobbled through her routine. It was a 9.55, so they could make a big jump, and she is just a stunning athlete.
Well, Lazan had been out of the beam lineup for California for about a month. Came back at the end of the season, went back-to-back career-high 9.925s at Ohio State and at home against Iowa on senior day. So no rust on the return. Maddie Dagan's got a 9.875 on floor for Oregon State. And still Jade Carey to go. That's next up.
Solid triple series, 2 back handsprings to lay out, step out. A little bobble there. Side aerial, full twist, and there was some celebration after this routine. It was a 9.9 and a big hug.
So a 49.375 on beam for California. Back to the floor live. Jade Carey, the Olympic gold medalist on this event.
Watch this first tumbling pass. 2 flips, 2 twists. Unbelievable. She makes it look so easy. Final pass. High flying double tuck.
Jade Carey, the #1 gymnast in the country in the all-around and the Olympic gold medalist on the floor.
Well, she's gotten a perfect 10 on this event. I mean, it's so impressive, the level of difficulty, and then the landings are so clean. Obviously, the judges, you know, have a little say in, are they going to take a 10th for that step or not? I don't know. It impresses me every time.
Well, they're going to need to drop a 9.825. They're going to do that.
Here's this first pass. Look at this.
Oh
Two
my
flips, two
goodness.
twists. And she almost opens up out of it so she doesn't bounce out of bounds. Incredible.
Oregon State was leading, but it was close. .025 after the first rotation. In California, the team chasing them just went 49.375. So I'm doing quick math in my head. I think Carey needs to go 9.95 or 9.975 to keep them in front. It's a 9.95. 9.95 officially for Carey. And of course, Utah back in it now as Utah went huge. 49.55. Have to pile all the numbers together and tell you who's leading. We come back to Salt Lake City and the Pac-12 championships.